Hey guys. Okay, let's talk about that final paper. I wanted you guys to do a trope paper where you would take your 3 movies or 3 videos or whatever you watched, and you would compare them using like a trope that ran through each one of the videos. But in times of crisis, everybody seems a little bit stressed about it. You don't seem to be able to understand when I talk about a trope, what a trope is, how to find the trope, and all that kind of stuff. And it's probably it's not you guys. I'm sure it's me. Even Brinkley agrees. See, it's me. You want me to throw your ball? Okay. Sorry. And so what I've decided is if you got the trope paper and you're moving forward with it and you're happy with it, then you can write the trope paper. If you're not happy with the trope paper, you don't understand what the trope paper is all about, you don't know what it's all about, you don't care what it's all about, then guess what? You can do a paper that's just a narrative, that is a narrative paper. And that's basically where you, the writer, tells a story. So all you have to do is tell a complete story. This would not be a wandering sort of stream of consciousness where you just talk about life. In other words, you'd have to have a beginning, a middle, and an end in which you tell a story about something that has happened. It could be about the coronavirus. It could be about something you've learned about yourself during the coronavirus. It could have nothing to do with the coronavirus. It could just be a story, a cool thing that happened to you when you were a kid, and you want to, you still think back on that. My only thing is I would ask you not to write about the loss of your first pet. That always makes me really sad. People tend to write about the loss of their animals, and it's just really, I would like for it to be something uplifting, okay? So if you're going to do a narrative, then just write about, whatever it is that you want to write about, but you just need to tell a story. And so as an example, I have this story that I can tell you about a time that my first husband, Steve, and I went to Sarasota, and we were out in the Gulf of Mexico. And Steve always wanted me to learn how to swim. My mother is afraid of water, so I don't really know how to swim. Like, I know in my brain how to swim, but I'm kind of lazy, and it's hard work, and so I don't really swim. And so he would float me around. You know how you do when you're young and in the water, and one person swims and the other person doesn't. They sort of just float you around. And a dragonfly landed right there in front of us. And so if you don't know this about dragonflies, they can't fly if their wings are wet. So they have to sit until their wings dry out, and then they can fly off. So I scooped up. So Steve is holding me and I'm holding the dragonfly. And so I'm just sort of holding him while his wings are drying off. And then a few minutes, his wings are dry, and then he lifts off and flies away. And as he lifts off to fly away, smack, a bird eats him. Can you believe that? I was like, what happened? It freaked me out. And I said, what is the purpose of this? Because I think everything has a meaning and all that kind of stuff. And Steve looked at me and he said, Mother Nature is you can imagine what he said about Mother Nature. So I've often thought about that. And I think that, like with us, we're just going along in our life, and then coronavirus hits. Pow! And now we're all having to restructure our lives and what we're doing and how we're doing and all that kind of stuff. And some of us are doing okay, and then some of us are freaking out, and then some of us are just ignoring it, and then some of us are, we're just like this. And all that is normal. The anxiety and the stress and how we're handling it and all that kind of stuff. So the moral of the story is that, I don't know what the moral of the story is. The moral of the story is whatever you get from it, right? So if this coronavirus thing has made you stronger, you could write about that. if it has taught you that you need structure and you need discipline, and when you don't have it, you don't do it, you can write about that. You can write about how you're learning how to, play the piano, or you're teaching yourself how to knit. I don't know, whatever it is that you're doing, just focus on that. I think this will alleviate a lot of the stress with regard to the third and final paper. So if you have questions, be sure to send me an email. And keep washing your hands. And I miss you guys, but I'm here. So anytime you need to, ask me a question, send me an email. If you want to talk, I'll give you my phone number. Just ask me for it. I'm happy to give it to you. All right, take care. Bye.